Happy Friday, guys. I hope you're having a great day and are ready for some science. So, on Wednesday's class, we learned a little bit about how our bones move because of our tendons, our muscles. So what we're going to be doing today, if some of you kind of skipped through some of the activity, we're going to be building fingers. So I understand that some of us don't have the supplies that the video asks us at home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how you can still make your finger using just paper. But if you do have the supplies at home, then you can go ahead and stop watching this video once I'm done explaining the instructions for turning it in. And you can go ahead and just click on the activity part. You'll see that it shows you everything you need right here. And if you scroll down on that page, you'll see that you have all these little attachments, and these attachments are what you need. So for example, if you're trying to print out the template, all you have to do is scroll all the way to the bottom, click right there, and then, sorry, it's taking a little long to load, and then you can print it out. And that's, again, if you have a printer and you have the supplies you need, or if you don't have all the supplies, but you do have a printer and you can print out this paper, that could still help you, and you can come back to this video and I will walk you through how to make it using just paper. But if you don't have the supplies, and I mean, we still I want everyone to do this finger, then just keep watching. But if you do have all this stuff at home that you need to do the experiment on your own, then go ahead and just finish watching the activity on the Mystery Science video that I attached. And then when you're done, just take a picture of it and submit that to Google Classroom. Or if you'd like, you can record a video and show everyone your specific finger, because I mean, it's paper, guys, so you can decorate them. Or at the end of the Mystery Science video, it even shows you how you can make a whole hand. So if you did that and you want to share it with the class, go ahead and record a Flipgrid video. But if you do that, you don't have to post it on Google Classroom, because I can see it from both sides. So it's up to you. You can choose to just take a picture of your completed finger, or you can record a video on Google Classroom and share with the class your finger. But if you do have all this stuff, you can go ahead and stop watching this video and just click on the link for the activity on Mystery Science, and you can follow along there. But if you don't have the stuff, then just keep watching, and I'm going to explain how to do it at home without it. So what you are going to need, and what I figured most of us would have, is paper. So just regular lined paper, scissors. I already kind of cut up my tape in little tiny pieces. But again, just regular tape. And I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I could find a string, but I actually ended up finding this little headpiece, and it has this clip on it, but because it's a string, I can use it for the tendon that I'm going to need for my finger, so I'm just going to choose to work with this. So what I want you guys to do is, if you have already a regular lined sheet of paper and you don't need to rip one out, that's perfect. But if you don't and you need to rip one out of a notebook, just make sure that you can see both of the red lines on your paper. So I'm going to go ahead and just slowly tear this sheet of paper out. Oh, I think I accidentally ripped two. Yeah, I did. Okay. You only need one. So I ripped it out, and I just want to make sure that both of these red lines are still intact, because I'm going to need those. So it's just important that you can see both red lines. And what I'm going to start by doing is I want to build this sheet right here. So this is the sheet that I couldn't print. Well, I have a printer, but I'm walking you guys through it as if you didn't. So we're going to try to make this onto our lined piece of paper. So what I want you guys to do is, we're going to start building our hand. We want to make sure that we are not going past this red line, because we're going to, at the end, we're going to end up cutting off the red lines. But make sure that it's close enough, but not too close. So, and you don't want it to go above the blue line either, because the blue line is also going to help us cut the tip of our finger. So I'm going to keep it inside. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So, and I'm only going to go down 3 lines. So I'm going to show you guys first. I'm going to try to draw that as best as I can to kind of copy the image I see. So this is what I have so far. I'm only using these 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, and I'm keeping it pretty close to this red line. Not too close again, because I'm gonna cut, but close enough. All right, and then I'm gonna start my next bone, and I'm gonna start right here at the top of this 3rd line, and again, I'm gonna count down to 3, and that's where my next bone will end. So again, I'm just trying to make this look as similar to the picture as I can. All right, so a little squiggly. All right, and it looks like that. And again, 1, 2, 3. And my next one is gonna go ahead and start on this line right here. And same thing, drawing down 3 more lines. And guys, if I'm going too fast, remember this is a video. So pause me until you do what I've done. That way you don't have to rewatch the video multiple times. So I'm gonna go ahead and just draw this 3rd piece. So my 3rd piece looks like that, or my 3rd bone. And then my 4th bone is gonna be my palm bone. So this one's gonna be a little bit longer. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go 5 down. So, but again, I'm starting right there. So trying to copy that to make it as similar to the other one as I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I went over 1, but that's okay, because I'm gonna end up cutting that off anyways. All right, so I went down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I went down a little, but that's okay. I'm gonna end up cutting that off. So I'm gonna go ahead and just draw in my numbers so that I know what bone I'm talking about. So I'm gonna draw a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So that it looks like that. All right, and now is when I'm gonna start cutting. So I'm going to cut these red lines off. But I wanna make sure that I'm following those red lines exactly, okay? Because if you take too much, your folding won't end up turning out how it should. So you wanna make sure that you're on exactly the red line while you're cutting. And you're gonna cut all the way down. I know I said that we were gonna cut off that little tip, but we still need it for right now. So I'm cutting all the way down, just like that. And I'm gonna repeat the exact same thing to the other side. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put those 2 pieces of paper to the side. And what I wanna do is I want to start, oh, sorry, I forgot to, we're also gonna cut off this top part. So make sure that, again, you follow that top blue line now to cut off this white piece on the top, because we don't need it. All right, so our line should be pretty straight in order to, sorry, I left a little bit of white edges on here, so I want to cut those off. So our line should be pretty straight in order to align our paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at where my fingers are at, and I'm gonna wanna fold so that there's the same amount of distance on this side as there is to this side. So I see it and I feel like it's right about there. So I'm gonna fold my paper over, just like that. And because your paper should be cut in straight lines, you should be able to get a really straight line by just connecting the other side of the paper to the tip of it and just pressing down. So what I mean by that is just by holding this down right here and then holding your bottom down right here, it should come out pretty straight. and it should align just like that. All right, and now I'm just gonna continue folding. So I want to end up making boxes that look similar to what I see on the paper printout. So I'm gonna fold it over again, right where my flap is, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and create another fold. But I want these lines to be super straight, so be patient as you're doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold over again. Oops, I think I took too much on this side. Yep, I took too much. All right, and then I'm gonna do the exact same process, grab it by where that other tip of the paper is touching and fold over like that again. All right, now I have something that looks like this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fold over one last time. And my paper now looks like this. All right, so once you have that, you can go ahead and either open it up and fold it the way we're about to fold it if it's a little bit easier, which I think it is, or if you want, you could keep it like this. Just make sure you're counting the lines as we go down. But I'm gonna open it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold right on that third line. So we have 1, 2, 3, and right on that third line where the next bone is starting, that is where we're gonna fold down now. So see my third line, just like that. So I created that flap and I folded it down. Now I want to fold it back because I want it to be really bendy, if that's a word. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it back now. All right, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to fold on that next third line where the next bone starts. So right there on that line. Again, fold it forward and fold it back. And so now I have a crease on that line as well. Again, I'm going to open it. The third line is right there now where my next bone starts. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm just going to finish off with doing it to my last one because I just want to have that line. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on that last. Now I believe I counted 5 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, right here. And I'm going to fold over. All right, guys, so when you look at your paper, because of all the folds you made, you should see all these little boxes. So those are the boxes that we're gonna use to create these black diamonds because we're gonna end up cutting out those black diamonds. So what I want you to do is each diamond is gonna start on the line that the bone is on. So we're gonna draw a straight line from here going diagonally to this line. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what that's gonna look like. And you want the corners to be touching. So it sounds a little bit complicated, so I'm just gonna show you guys because I think it's better with the visual. I'm gonna draw a little circle so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Maybe make mine a little bit bigger. All right, so I have a cross section between my boxes. I can see within my foldings, this line, I have this little dot right here, and then I have this other line right here. So I'm just drawing a straight diagonal line from this little point right here, which is 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, where my first finger ends. I have a little point right there. and I'm drawing a diagonal line, a straight diagonal line to just one line up. So I'm basically it's just one little line that I drew across one little segment. And I'm going to do that same exact thing. I'm going to draw a dot right here, and I'm going to connect that line going up now. So that I have that. So my lines aren't perfectly straight, but that's okay because when I start cutting, it's going to be a lot easier because the scissors will cut straight. But I'm just going to finish that out by drawing the rest of it. So that you guys can see that it looks like that. So I'm basically using the creases I created to plot where I'm going to put my dots and kind of help me see where I'm going to draw my diamond. But if you can see, the line should start, well, the middle of it should start where your two bones would connect, and then you're just going one down and one up to complete your diamond. And we're going to repeat that same exact thing down here. So my bones meet right here. So this is essentially going to be my middle. So I'm going to have a dot right here that goes up to here. Then I'm going to have this dot connect to a dot over here, and then this dot is going to connect to a dot down here. And I'm going to draw that same exact thing. So it might be a little bit easier if you plot your dots first, but I see that my next dot is going to be right here, right here, right here, and right here. So I plotted my dots, and now I'm just going to go ahead and draw those lines so that I can see where I'm going to cut. So it looks like that. All right, and for my last one, I'm going to do the same exact thing. My bones meet right here. So I'm going to plot a dot right here, going to draw another one right here, come back down over here and draw my last one right there. So that it looks like that. And one thing you should keep in mind is that there's always one space in between them. So for my first, I actually did this prior to recording this video just to make sure it was going to work. So if you look at the back of my hand, you'll see, or my finger, you'll see that I have this extra line right here, and it's because I made a mistake. But I was able to catch that because I didn't have one line in between both of my diamonds. For this bottom one, I ended up having two, so I could see that it was wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and finish drawing in those lines now. If you have a ruler too, that could be really helpful, but I wanted to limit the amount of things I used to make this as easy as I could. So I have all three diamonds now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold my paper back on the line I had already created, so it should be super easy to see, so that I'm holding onto my paper like that. And now I'm just going to cut out my diamond that now looks like a triangle. So again, because I'm using scissors now, it's easier to cut a straight line. So just like that. I'm going to do that same thing to the other ones. Only cutting where those dots and lines are. You don't want to cut too far. All right, so now you should have something that looks like this. And now I can go ahead and cut this bottom part off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut where that last fold is. So now I have this. And now what I'm going to want to do is I only need 4 of these. So sorry, I'm moving a little bit too fast, but remember, you can pause me. So I only need 4 of these sections, and I have this 5th one. So what I want to do with my 5th one is the video would have you use an index card, and that's only to reinforce it so that it's like stable like this. But what we're going to end up doing is just bending this last section. So if you count them, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on this last one, we're going to go ahead and just fold it back. And it should fit just fine because of the way we folded. So you should be able to fold it back like that. And then all we're going to do is grab a little piece of tape. So I'm just going to grab some tape. And I'm going to tape that little flap down so that it stays down. And now I could stop there, but I realized that it didn't give me enough sturdiness. So now with that other flap that you just cut off, you're going to go ahead and just fold it back so that we have one little strip looking, oh, I folded it weird. So that you have this little strip, and you should be able to tape that right down there too. So again, this is going to add, this is going to reinforce our finger so that it doesn't bend as easily. And again, I'm just going to take some tape and I'm going to tape that down so that it doesn't move. All right, so now I have something that looks like this. So now what I want to do next is make a triangle out of this, but I want this to be this thick side to be right underneath my bones of my finger. So I'm going to end up folding my finger side. So I'm holding onto my paper. This side is facing me, and I'm going to fold it down so that it looks like this. Then I'm going to fold this part that I taped down in like that too. So now I have both of those folding in, and I'm going to grab some tape again, and I'm just going to connect those two so that I have something that looks like a triangle on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some tape, and I'm going to tape that down by connecting those two together. So I'm just going to take some tape, put it on the tip right here. And I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I'm going to put it on the tip like that. All right, so now that I have my complete finger with its bone set up, now I need to add a tendon. So the tendon is what helps, our muscles are what help our bones move. So what I'm going to end up doing is, like I said, I found this that I realized I could use. If you have string, I would use the string too, but anything that's honestly in a rope type form will work for this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to slide whatever I'm using. In my case, I'm using a headpiece. So I'm going to slide that through. The only thing that I will say is that you do need to tape or connect somehow. I know that the video uses paper clips. So if you have paper clips, that works out too. And you can see how they use the paper clips in the video. But I'm going to connect my rope or my string or whatever you're using to the tip of my finger, just like that. So to the one. All right. And now I'm going to hold on to the bottom piece of my finger, so where my palm bone would be, and I can go ahead and just pull on that tendon now, and I created my finger, just like that. All right, guys, so when you reach this step, you're all done. Please take a picture of it sideways and frontways too, so that I can see what your robot finger looks like. And if you want to, I would really like a video so that way I can see what yours looks like a little bit better and you can explain it to me. But other than that, guys, I hope you have a great Friday and you enjoy your weekend.